start with your story about this product, because I know that's where it begins, and that's where it begins for pretty much everyone. What happened to you?
Well, Pope, I went through a series of, to me, some traumatic events in my life over a 4-year span of time. I had my ex-wife actually walked out of my 14-year relationship with her. 6 months later, my dad passed away to a massive heart attack. The next year, I pretty much lost my home and everything that I owned. My sister gave birth to triplets, and, of course, then she was going through a real rocky marriage, and so, here we are having to help raise three newborns. My mom came down with cancer, was diagnosed with lung cancer and an autoimmune disease called dermatomyositis in 2005. We lost my mom in 2006, and both my parents, passed away 4 years apart, 4 years and a week apart, and both of them are right there at Christmas time. So the month of December has been very hard. But we lost my mom to cancer eventually, the day after Christmas in 2006. And so going through just, it seemed like one thing after another. I would find myself getting extremely depressed. I didn't know how to cope with all these things. So I found myself going through a really, what I would classify as a high grade of depression. And in fact, high enough and tough enough that had it not been for my relationship with God, I probably wouldn't be here. Because there were times where I had literally told God that, hey, if I can't, if life can't get better, if I can't figure out how to move past all this and how to cope with this, then he's going to have to take me out. He's just going to have to take me out of the world. Because I had no energy. I would wake up in the morning feeling like I had just never gone to sleep. There were times, because of my depression, where I wouldn't get out of a chair. I would literally stay in my room, which my room was actually in the basement of my house. I actually nicknamed it the dungeon. I actually would call it the dungeon. And there were times that when I would wake up in the morning outside of just eating, I wouldn't leave that room for days on end. So I had no energy. My mental clarity, I felt so congested, concentrate. I couldn't think. I had no motivation. I was so lethargic. I felt like I was 20 years older than what I really was, than my actual age. I was finding myself having to take naps during the day. I mean, it was just one thing after another. And so when I was introduced to this product in December of last year, like a lot of people, they go in there and say, hey, I'm willing to give it a try. Let's see, because I had never gone on prescription drugs. I'm not one for going on a lot of prescription medication unless it's like a painkiller after I've had surgery or something. So I ordered the product, and in fact, when I came into December, the company was in the process of moving, I think, their distribution location, setting up a new warehouse. And so I actually had mine back ordered. And I had to wait like almost 3 weeks for it to get here. And so when I got it, I started following the loading dose. Took 4 a day. And because of all the things that I had endured over so many things over a 4-year span with all the stress, depression, and everything, I found myself getting much more angrier very quickly. I used to be, I remember my mom telling me, that she said, you got to work through this. You got to let some of the stuff go. Got to work through it. She said, you were always the laid back person and never let anything bother you. But so I would find myself getting angry at the world, and it wouldn't take me much to set me off. And so within 36 hours of starting on what I have, my personal definition of this product, I call it the chill pill, because within 36 hours of starting on this, my sister noticed that what normally would have set me off and had me angry and agitated and upset, it just didn't seem to faze me. It was like, she looked at me like, wow. So that was the first thing I noticed, was the calming effect. And that's what this product does. It calms people down. This is why I think so many people who have ADHD have such great results with it. So within the calming effect, there were times at night I couldn't shut my brain off. And I think those of us that go through stress we're worried, and things that happen in our life, we can't shut our brain off. It's just like it keeps us up at night. And so that's one of the reasons why I would wake up so lethargic every morning. So I found myself sleeping much deeper, dreaming much more vividly, and I would wake up, and it was almost like if you had been in a city that was overcast and cloudy and maybe even raining. It was like all of a sudden my mental clarity, it's like the sky was just completely blue. I woke up. I wasn't tired in the morning. I could concentrate. I could think. I wasn't having to take naps during the day. I started to feel physically more energetic, which, allows me to go out there and walk every day. And so my mental clarity has greatly improved. My sleep has improved. My depression, my stress levels are down. And, this is just a phenomenal product. And I want to share a little story with you, Pope, on something that caught my attention on the radio the other day when I was coming home. I was listening to a radio station, and they were talking about this study that they had done on taking a selected group of people, and they were showing these people images, because they were basically doing a study of the brain. They were showing people the images of healthy foods, like pictures of healthy foods and things like that, versus junk food or fast foods and things that aren't normally good for us. And they found something that was very interesting, is that when they would show people these pictures who weren't getting enough sleep at night, they noticed that those images, when they showed them the junk food and the fast food, had almost like a surge versus the healthy foods. But when those people were able to go home and get a good night's rest, and then they were showing them the same pictures versus people who didn't have enough sleep, there was no difference in what they saw on the images versus one picture or the next. And so when we look at the serotonin in this product and how important getting a good night's sleep is, not only is it important to getting rest to where we're not sleep deprived and stressed, but now they're even linking it and starting to show that, hey, our brain seems to end up taking us to foods and nutrition that aren't good for us when we don't have enough sleep versus when we do get enough sleep. And, of course, we know when we eat the wrong kinds of food and junk food, it leads to things like increased weight, diabetes, all kinds of things. So that alone, helping people get a good night's sleep to where they wake up rested and refreshed and ready to take on the day, is a phenomenal benefit of what I call the chill pill.